My son has authored my life, written it in stone. Every morning when I wake, I know exactly what I have to do. For some, that's a prison. For others, a liberation. This is my adult son, Nathan. He's severely autistic. Although 22 years old, he has the mind of a small child. In the February of 2021, his computer stopped working, sending him into an extreme mental collapse, more commonly known as a meltdown, something Nathan suffers from constantly. While trying to diagnose the problem, I found that the 500 gigabyte hard drive inside his computer had filled to capacity. It turned out that the source of the problem was a lone folder sitting inside Nathan's documents. It was simply named New Folder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It contained over 400 gigabytes of data. I always thought I knew my son, but what I found that day made me realise I knew nothing. For years, I assumed Nathan could barely communicate, but it seemed my son had been communicating all along. I just wasn't listening.
Nathan's upstairs at the moment calming down. He just had a really bad meltdown because his computer stopped working. I found out that his hard drive had filled up, and it's because of this folder I found inside his My Documents called New Folder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When you open it up, there's a massive tree structure of folders inside. I've done a count and there's 67,000 folders in here. I had no idea he was doing this. What's your name?
Nathan.
Nathan who?
Anthony.
Nathan Anthony. And how old are you, Nathan?
I'm 22.
22? Nathan, are you autistic?
No.
To understand what I found inside Nathan's documents folder, you need to understand who Nathan is. Nathan was born with Kanner's syndrome, or what is more commonly known as classical autism. Nathan has no idea that he's actually autistic. He can't comprehend the meaning of the word autism. Within Nathan's mind, he sees himself as being no different to any other neurotypical boy. Although he can speak quite well, most of what Nathan says is mimicking or echolalia. Nathan's IQ can't be measured because Nathan can't actually understand the test. Kindergarten children understand language better than Nathan. Like Peter Pan, Nathan will always be a child trapped in Never Never Land, his mind held captive by autism. Because of his disability, Nathan can't function on his own within society. Years ago, I gave up my career to look after Nathan full-time. I may be his carer, but Nathan has become my teacher. Some may ask, what could I learn from a boy with no IQ? At the very least, he taught me that the world can be a much better place if I just act a little more like him. Nathan's completely honest. He doesn't understand the purpose of lying. He's always kind. He's never mean. He's never greedy. He sings and he dances like nobody's watching. And no matter where he is, he skips when he feels happy. Just like you and me, all he wants is to be loved. Autism may disable his voice, but it will never disable his soul.
Chug a big red car.
Ever since he was a small child, Nathan has been fascinated with the Wiggles. As a youngster, Nathan watched the Wiggles religiously, dancing to the songs and imitating them in every way. Although he couldn't talk, he'd verbally mimic the script from the videos, an autistic trait known as echolalia, something Nathan still does to this day. Notice how he's treading on the balls of his feet, or toe walking. Nathan did this constantly when he was younger. It can be a symptom of autism, caused by an underdeveloped area of the brain responsible for balance, known as the vestibular system.
Here's Anthony be there.
Here's Nathan at 6 years of age, ecstatically meeting his idols, the Wiggles.
Thank you.
Nathan, time to sit down. Come and sit.
Nathan, why do you like the Wiggles so much?
Because I collect my videos.
At around the age of 7, Nathan began doing something very peculiar. He started collecting Wiggles VHS video cassettes, even though he didn't own a VHS player. Not long after, he started collecting all the DVDs as well. His love of children's entertainment soon expanded to include Bob the Builder, Fireman Sam, Thomas the Tank Engine, Bananas in Pyjamas, and the Hooly Doolies, just to name a few. It's an obsession that dominates his life to this day. His room is now a virtual shrine to his passion. He has hundreds of titles, and for a boy with a non-existent IQ, his knowledge of them is nothing short of astounding. What year did the Wiggles' It's Always Christmas With You come out?
2011.
What year did you get it?
2011.
What month?
December.
What day?
Tuesday.
Where'd you get it from?
Kmart.
What year did Bob the Builder, The Dream Room come out?
2012.
What year did you get it?
2021.
What month?
December.
What day?
Tuesday.
Where'd you get it from?
Binnies.
There are over
What
700
year did
DVDs and
Christmas
videos
Eve
in
come
Nathan's
out?
collection, and he can tell you the date he received every one of
year
them
did you get it?
and where he procured them. He's memorised the
What day did you
songs
get it?
and the order they appear, as
What
well
month?
as all the dialogue, which he often quotes as
Where'd you get it
echolalia.
from?
Well, someone ate that last apple and, the rabbits. Habit? What'd you say? I think they're saying rabbit. Come on, rabbit, we've got lots of apples for you. Come on, rabbit, we've got lots of apples for you.
When he turned 8, his obsession for children's television transferred over to a new medium, the internet. Once Nathan figured out that he could type the names of his favourite shows into a Google image search, he fell in love with the technology. In 2015, I gave Nathan his own computer, an old HP Compact with Windows 7. There was 450 gigabytes of spare space on the hard drive. By the February of 2021, he'd filled it to capacity. Let me show you what I found. There were hundreds of thousands of them. Folders, pictures, Word documents, drawings. Many of the folders became a virtual rabbit hole. You could open up one, and inside that there'd be another 1,000 folders, and then another 1,000, and so on, and so on. For years, while Nathan sat beside me, browsing the pictures on his computer, I assumed I was looking at the same photos. To a layman like myself, they appeared to be the same, but I wasn't looking hard enough. I wasn't looking at the detail. Nathan was organising pictures and lists of all these DVDs and videos into tens of thousands of different patterns. After my first inspection, I assumed I was looking at the chaotic ramblings of an autistic madman, an artist slaving for a passion which had all but consumed him. I was nearly going to give up, until by pure chance I resized the Explorer window containing Nathan's folders, and then I saw it, a pattern. Whatever Nathan was doing, it wasn't random. Over the coming days, I became obsessed with how Nathan was using his computer. What did the patterns mean? What was Nathan doing? But more to the point, why was he doing it?
I'm Nathan's dad. I've decided to try and figure out just what it is that Nathan is doing on his computer. So I'm going to make a video log of the journey. Now, the first thing you may be asking is, why don't I just ask Nathan himself? Nathan, why do you like putting all the pictures in the folders like that?
Because I like collecting videos.
You like collecting videos?
Yeah.
But why do you like collecting videos?
Makes me feel calm
Makes you calm? What else?
and happy.
It makes you happy, does it?
Yeah.
Although he can speak quite well, Nathan's comprehension of language is comparable to that of a small child. I can't just come out and ask Nathan why he's sorting pictures of his DVDs and videos into tens of thousands of different patterns, because Nathan doesn't understand what I'm actually asking him. Nathan, is Doris the dinosaur a person in a suit, or is she real?
She's real.
She's real, is she? What about Santa Claus? Is he real?
Yes.
Is Bob the Builder real?
Yes.
What about Henry the Octopus? Is he real?
Yes.
He is? What does real mean?
Can't remember.
Can't remember? That's cool, buddy. While searching through the patterns in Nathan's documents folder, I started to wonder, what if Nathan's trying to speak to me through the chaos of colour and words? Is he trying to communicate through the patterns? Is Nathan talking through his autism? But if he is, how will I ever know? When theorising about what it would be like to communicate with an alien intelligence, the famous astrophysicist Carl Sagan once wrote, "To understand the language of the ants, you must first become an ant." I can never make Nathan neurotypical. Autism will always prevent him from understanding me. But maybe there's another way. Maybe I can change. Maybe I can become autistic enough to understand him. What's inside 161? I thought I'd start by sitting Nathan down in front of his computer and asking him some very simple questions about the patterns and pictures inside his documents folder. While doing this, I made an amazing discovery. It seemed that Nathan had memorised the entire contents of his documents folder, a folder containing over 67,000 different patterns of all his videos. Okay, so we are in new folder. What is it called?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4. What did you call it? New folder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Because that's the numbers I've found.
They're the numbers you found, are they? All right. What's inside folder number 126?
Wiggles videos.
Wiggles videos. How many are there?
31.
31. And there are 31 items in there. Let's go all the way up the other end, shall we? Have a look at all these. How do you know what's inside of all these? What's inside 1346?
Blue's Clues.
Blue's Clues. How many Blue's Clues are in there?
8.
Let me double check. Damn, there's Blue's Clues in there. That's incredible. What about new folder 25? Can you tell me what's inside new folder 25?
Brum, the Hoodoo, Band, Big Blue House, and Bob the Builder.
Let's open up and see. Wow, that's exactly what is in there. And do you know what's inside all those folders? if I put the blindfold on you and we open them up, would you be able to tell me all the videos that are inside those folders as well?
Yes.
You can.
Yeah.
All right, I'll put the blindfold on. All right, what's inside Bear in the Big Blue House, Magic in the Kitchen?
There are The Wiggles, It's a Wiggly World.
Yep.
Bear in the Big Blue House, Home is Where the Bear Is.
Yep.
Thomas and Friends Happy Ever After.
Yep.
Bob Bill Bob's Birthday.
Yep.
Pinky Pinky the Superhero.
Yep.
The Hoodoo's Pop.
Yep.
Little Bear's Band.
Yep.
The Fairies Farmyard Magic.
Yep.
Bananas Jumps It's Games Time.
Yep.
Post and Pat The Big Surprise.
Yep.
Place Where Everybody Sing. And Sesame Street and Palooza.
Very good, boy. That was very smart. All right, I'm going to do another
For the
one.
next 20 minutes,
Bear in
while
the Big Blue
blindfolded,
House.
Nathan recalled the contents of new folder 25, a collection of more than 30 folders containing over 430 pictures of VHS videos and DVDs. He guessed every one of them correctly. It begged the question, how was Nathan doing this? It's a rare skill, especially for a man with Nathan's cognitive ability. It was during this session that I made another amazing discovery about my son. It turns out that he's a closeted calendrical savant.
What day was Christmas Day in 1950?
Monday.
What day was the 3rd of October, 2001?
Wednesday.
What was January 6, 1970?
Tuesday.
Yes. What day is the 14th of June, 2031?
Sunday.
What day was Christmas Day in 1910?
Actually, wasn't a... No, it was a Sunday.
You are a freak. How do you do that?
I do.
Nathan, if I go into an op shop and buy a Wiggles video that costs 50 cents and I give the shopkeeper $1, how much change will the shopkeeper give me back?
$5.
What does it mean to be smart? You have to be careful judging people by their IQ. Ted Bundy had an IQ of 136, putting him in the range of superior intelligence. The average IQ of the leaders of the Nazi Party was 140. Any score above 132 puts you in Mensa. Nathan has taught me that our definition of intelligence is only as narrow as our scope. In the medical report detailing Nathan's autism, the section regarding IQ simply read, "Not applicable." After reading that, I fell into a common trope. I assumed he was incapable of learning anything. But when I found Nathan's documents folder, I realised my cheeky little son had made a fool out of me. Watch Nathan use his computer for a moment. He's using Microsoft Paint, a basic graphics design program. He uses the application to cut and paste images of his videos, merging them together into a new picture, or what I'm beginning to redefine as a new pattern. Nathan will build 2 or 3 of these a day, and there are thousands of these creations inside his documents folder. In some cases, he's become quite the CGI artist. Here, he's creating a triangle shape to mask out parts of the image. Now, for anyone who knows how to use a graphics design application, this may seem like a trivial task, but it isn't for a boy with a non-applicable IQ. You see, nobody taught Nathan how to use Microsoft Paint, and more to the point, nobody even taught Nathan how to use the computer, which raises the question, how did a boy with a non-applicable IQ learn how to do something so complicated all on his own? When Nathan's faced with a problem, he can't ask for help. He doesn't have the cognitive ability to formulate his problem into a question. And even if he could, he wouldn't be able to understand my reply. Nathan's autism forces my little boy to live inside a virtual prison cell. It severely limits the amount of information he can receive from the outside world.
But that doesn't mean that Nathan can't learn. And it certainly doesn't mean he has no ideals or goals. It just means that he has to learn everything on his own, in isolation.
These are a set of pictures nestled inside a folder called Bob the Builder, Rolly and the Rockstar. I'm still trying to figure out why, but for some reason or other, all the pictures inside this folder, as well as many others, are black and white. Microsoft Paint is the only graphics editing application that Nathan has on his computer, but it has no functionality to convert a colour picture into black and white. This got me thinking, how was Nathan converting the colour pictures into black and white?
Nathan, how do you convert the colour pictures into black and white like the ones on the screen there now?
What is it convert?
What does convert mean?
Yeah.
How do you change the pictures from colour into black and white?
Oh, yeah.
You don't know?
This is where it gets hard trying to communicate with Nathan, because no matter how simple I try to make my language, he can't comprehend what I'm actually asking him. So, similar to David Attenborough filming a wildlife special, I sat behind Nathan for over an hour until I finally caught him doing it. First, he opens up the colour picture in Windows Photo Viewer before selecting Print from the menu bar. Because Nathan's default printer is the fax printer, it previews the colour photo in black and white. Nathan then hits the print screen key on the keyboard. He then opens up Microsoft Paint and selects Paste, which dumps the screen onto the canvas. Once the picture is in Paint, he crops the converted black and white image and saves it to the location of his choice. So how did Nathan learn how to do something so complicated all on his own? Let me use an old analogy to explain. If Nathan was like a computer, his autism limits the data that I can input into his brain via the keyboard and mouse, but that's all it limits. His CPU, his problem-solving abilities, his memory, they're working just fine. In some cases, far better than a neurotypical person. I would no doubt say that it took Nathan months to figure out just how to convert a colour picture into black and white. It could have taken him hundreds of random attempts before he finally reached his goal. He sacrificed his time and he never gave up. Nathan may be intellectually disabled, but his drive to overcome adversity certainly isn't.
If William James is right, and intelligence is a fixed goal with a variable means of achieving it, then Nathan clearly demonstrates a high amount of intelligence. You just have to be willing to look for it in places other than an IQ test.
This is a single cell of mould known as a physarum. It has no nervous system, nor does it have a brain. Yet it can solve mazes, learn information, and predict events. It delays gratification while trying to achieve a goal. We now know that every cell inside you works the same way as the physarum. Like an ant colony, the human body is a collective intelligence. When I was younger, I suffered from the arrogance of the intellect. My limited understanding of intelligence blinded me from my son. Nathan's autism may stop us from teaching him about the world, but it doesn't stop him from trying to understand it. That drive to climb mountains and solve problems thrives underneath Nathan's autism, no different to you and me. When faced with problems, he doesn't run. He tries to solve them. Like a sailor marooned on an island, he's constantly searching for a way to get back home. When he fails, he tries another path. He sacrifices while seeking a goal. That's the definition of science, the definition of religion, the definition of humanity. Nathan has taught me that intelligence is all around us, that wisdom and intelligence are two completely different things, and in the end, all that defines us is our aim, our goals, our dreams. Remember earlier when I said I have no idea why Nathan makes some of his pictures black and white? Well, I think I figured out why.
Natey, can you show Daddy?
Yeah.
Can you show me on the computer where you've made a folder with the videos that are inside Rolly and the Rockstar?
Notice how fast Nathan opened up that video folder? From a collection of over 67,000 folders, Nathan found it almost instantly.
And are those the exact videos that are inside?
Yeah.
Notice here, Nathan's gone into new folder, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then he's gone into new folder 11 and found this exact video, Rolly and the Rockstar. But inside Rolly and the Rockstar are these 8 videos. And they're the videos that Nathan's put inside the folder.
The reason why he's making some of the pictures black and white is because the video inlays are black and white. Nathan's copying the patterns in perfect detail, even down to the point of getting the colours right. A few days later, I tried to sit Nathan down and ask him some more questions about the videos. But unfortunately, that didn't go to plan. Nathan's autism kind of got in the way.
How come you're upset, buddy? What's wrong?
Nothing!
If you aren't calm, buddy, I don't know, are we going to be able to do the question?
No, Jim, no! I'm Jim for a party!
Tell Daddy what's wrong.
I want Mum and Dad to look after me!
Mum and Dad are always going to look after you, buddy.
Call it, darling! Call it! No, Simon, call it!
Entropy dictates that over time, the universe is always changing. In other words, nothing can stay the same. But Nathan, he longs for a world made of stone. A place where nothing ever changes. For Nathan, entropy is a tormentor that slowly devours stability. The only thing that gives him peace. If autism had an enemy, it would be entropy.
Don't hit!
Having a meltdown is really no different than being trapped inside a waking nightmare. On a good day, Nathan will melt down like this 2 or 3 times. On a bad day, he'll do it every hour. While trying to find out what Nathan was doing inside his documents folder, I had to endure many of these because while asking him questions, I was breaking Nathan's daily routine. When Nathan really loses control, he'll self-harm, so I have to be vigilant. At times, I become a punching bag.
Don't hit me! Stop!
But I never take it personally.
Let go!
On the surface, a meltdown looks like a temper tantrum, but when examined closely, they are nothing alike.
It's okay. Everything is all right.
When someone has a tantrum, they choose to act in a terrible way. Tantrums are a choice. Meltdowns are involuntary.
It's okay. Alright, everything is okay. Nathan, what's a meltdown?
A hissy fit.
A hissy fit. Do you have meltdowns sometimes?
Yeah.
What's it feel like to have a meltdown?
Angry.
Angry. Does it hurt when you have a meltdown?
Because something's changing.
Something's changing and that makes you upset, doesn't it?
Yes, but it's not going to change.
Nothing's going to change though. It's all cool, buddy. Does it hurt your head when you're having a meltdown? Does something hurt inside?
Yeah.
It does?
Because it bangs my head a lot.
In the April of 2012, an article in Scientific American described the underlying pathology of a meltdown. The article explained that meltdowns were caused by a problem with chemical signalling in the brain. Compared to other mammalian brains, humans have a large prefrontal cortex. This part of the brain allows us to think, to plan, to imagine. But it also plays a large role in regulating the limbic system, an ancient primal part of our brain responsible for all of our emotions and motivations. Within neurotypical brains, the prefrontal cortex has a great deal of leverage over the limbic system, but this isn't the case for people like Nathan. Studies have shown that a very small amount of stress weakens the regulatory function of the prefrontal cortex, allowing the limbic system to control Nathan's behaviour. As these older, primal parts of the brain take over, he becomes consumed by paralysing anxiety, as well as succumbing to emotions like fear and rage. Before Nathan goes to bed each night, he plans out the next day by compiling a list. Nathan lives by routine. It's a common trait for people with Kanner's syndrome. Everything has to happen at a certain time of day, and every event has to be scheduled. He plans out his meals 7 days in advance. He's obsessed with clocks and calendars. While caring for Nathan, I spend an enormous amount of time and energy maintaining his routines and making sure everything around him works perfectly. If I didn't do that, Nathan would constantly melt down. But the only problem is, no matter how hard I try to keep a wall of order around Nathan's life, chaos always finds its way in. The only reason that I found Nathan's documents folder was because of a meltdown when his computer's hard drive filled up. In other words, his meltdown was triggered by something changing, something not working the way it did in the past. Nearly every meltdown that Nathan has is caused by a change in his routine. People with Kanner's syndrome cannot operate in the world unless they adhere to strict routines. And I have a hypothesis as to why this is, and it has something to do with the flow of time. We use maps to help us navigate unknown territory every day of our lives. If you get lost in a strange city and you don't have a map, your anxiety shoots through the roof. In many ways, this anxiety is the precursor to one of Nathan's meltdowns. Maps help guide us through a three-dimensional world, in turn lowering our anxiety. The only problem is, we live in a four-dimensional world. Time is a dimension that you have to navigate a path through, no different than the three-dimensional space of a foreign city. And it turns out that over the course of evolution, neurotypical brains have developed their own virtual mapping system to help us navigate time. Every time you play a game of chess, you use your imagination to help win the game. Before physically moving a piece, you use your mind to plot out hundreds of different moves. In essence, your imagination helps you travel into the future, building a map to help guide you and keep you alive for as long as possible. Using your mind to think about what you should do next allows you to die in your imagination rather than die in real life. People with classical autism like Nathan have an immense amount of trouble with planning. For example, when Nathan mows a new lawn, his first instinct is to wander all over it chaotically. I have to constantly instruct Nathan to mow in straight lines rather than use the time-consuming method of zigzagging everywhere. He has the same problem doing a maze. Before drawing a line and making a mistake, most people will plan out a path in their mind first. But Nathan doesn't do this. He continually draws, exploring every possibility until he finds his way out. Nathan's aware of the goal. He just can't calculate the solution using his imagination. Interestingly though, once he finds a solution, he never forgets it. Neurotypical people can use their imagination to plan and build hypothetical versions of the future. This process helps relieve your anxiety of the unknown by allowing you to predict what you should do next. No different than playing a game of chess. But Nathan can't do this. It's like he's trapped within the present. That's why Nathan needs to write out a list every night so he can keep track of what's coming next. His autism prevents him from mapping out the future. Without maps, neurotypical people become lost in three-dimensional space. But in a very similar way, without the ability to plan, people with severe autism become lost in time. Nathan's inability to map out an unknown future means he's always balancing on the edge of anxiety.
No yuckiness.
No yuckiness, buddy. Everything's all right.
I devote my entire life to building Nathan's tomorrow. But I can't be here forever. And Nathan doesn't understand that at all.
Are you going to die?
No.
You're not going to die?
No.
Are Mummy and Daddy going to be with you forever, are they?
Yes.
Are they? We're going to live with you forever?
Yes.
What happens when people die? Where do they go?
Heaven.
Heaven. So if Mummy and Daddy die, will they go to heaven?
Yeah.
Are Mummy and Daddy going to die?
No.
They're not going to die? Why don't you want Mummy and Daddy to die?
Because I want to live with them.
You want to live with us, do you?
Yes. What about Jessie?
And Jessie too. And is Jessie going to die?
No.
No? You don't want anyone to die?
No.
What will happen to you when you die?
I can't remember.
It's hard to explain what death is to Nathan. He doesn't understand it. I don't know whether he truly understands that one day I'm going to have to die. His mum's going to die. And I'm not afraid of death, really, but frightens the living hell out of me. The day after I die, who's going to look after him? Who's going to make sure everything works the way it should?
It's clear to me now that Nathan's autism is severely limiting the functionality of his prefrontal cortex, and I think this may hold the key to understanding his documents folder. You see, not only does this area of the brain regulate our emotions and help us navigate our way through the past and future, but it also allows us to abstract ourselves from the concrete physical world. What is abstraction? Abstraction is a path to simplicity. It's a way of reducing many things to one. Abstraction enables us to see the forest for the trees. Our lives are surrounded by it. Language is an abstraction. Mathematics is an abstraction. The societies we live in are an abstraction. For Nathan and many other severely autistic people like him, the world is divided into two layers: the concrete or physical world and the abstract world. When Nathan looks at the Statue of Liberty, he sees a green lady wearing a crown. Yet a neurotypical person will tell you they see a symbol of freedom and hope. When Nathan sees a trophy, he sees a golden piece of plastic with a name on it. For others, the trophy represents victory, sacrifice and achievement. When Nathan sees a country's flag, he sees some fabric with a pretty pattern of colours. What he can never understand, though, is that people have died fighting for what these flags represent. For many, they mean unity, a way of life, a sense of home, family and belonging.
Yellow. Do you like blue and yellow? They're pretty cool, eh?
Green.
Green. Like many autistic people, Nathan has a great deal of trouble with abstract thought. For Nathan, everything has to be concrete, rooted in reality, something you can
See, smell, taste, hear,
and touch, doesn't it?
and there's a white one.
And a white one as well. If the world was made from Lego, Nathan would have no trouble whatsoever seeing all the individual pieces.
And I have a black one.
You black ones as well. Mm-hmm. He'd just have no idea how to put them together.
This is the American author Helen Keller. Helen was born neurotypical, but at 19 months of age she contracted an illness which left her completely deaf and blind. This made teaching her how to communicate seemingly impossible. She had no concept of words or language.
That we did not use.
This is Helen with her lifelong teacher Anne Sullivan.
And I let her see, by putting her hand on my face, how we talk with our mouths. She felt the vibration of the spoken word. I am not dumb now. No.
Through an act of pure love and dedication to a craft, Anne taught Helen how to communicate so well that in her later life, she became an award-winning writer. When Helen was 7 years old, Anne began finger-signing words into the palms of Helen's hands. She instantly began to imitate the gestures, although at the time, Helen had no idea that she was actually spelling words because she had no idea what a word actually was. In her autobiography, The Story of My Life, Helen described her frustration when trying to distinguish between the patterns Anne was finger-signing and the objects they represented. Being deaf and blind, Helen still had no concept that objects have names.
Later in the day, we had a tussle over the words mug and water. Miss Sullivan had tried to impress it upon me that mug is mug and water is water, but I persisted in confounding the two.
When Anne gave Helen a mug, she'd finger-sign the word mug into Helen's hand. But when Anne filled the mug with water, she'd finger-sign the word water. This confused Helen because all she could feel was the mug. It was as if the mug had two names. The exact opposite of this problem occurred with the toys. When Helen was handed her ceramic doll, Anne would sign the word doll. But when handed her rag doll, Anne would also sign the word doll. All Helen had to guide her was the sense of touch, and the dolls felt nothing alike. One was ceramic and hard, the other made from fabric and soft. Yet Anne kept signing the same word to describe both dolls. Although it seems obvious to us that objects have names, it wasn't obvious to Helen. Naming objects and grouping them by their characteristics requires you to think in an abstract way. Poor Helen had to learn the hard way just how different the concrete world is to our abstracted imaginations. Now, you may well be asking yourself, what does Helen Keller, a non-autistic deaf and blind girl, have to do with Nathan, a severely autistic boy who can see and hear? You see, before she learned language, Helen was the perfect example of what it's like to be severely autistic. Because of Helen's disability, all she could understand was the concrete physical world around her. Just like Nathan, she couldn't climb the ladder of abstraction, at least until Anne came along and helped pull her up. But the big difference between Helen and Nathan is, Nathan can never escape. Unlike Helen, Nathan's trapped inside the concrete world forever. The evolutionary psychologist Dr. Jordan Peterson argues that the structure through which human beings look at the world is through a story, a nested narrative explaining how we should act, how we should live in the world.
If you describe the structure through which we look at the world, that's what a story is. That's why we value stories. We cannot derive a picture of the world through mere reference to the facts, because there's one fact per phenomenon and there's too many phenomena.
Stories are abstractions, a hierarchy of details, and Nathan is getting bogged down in those very details, or the Lego bricks, and his inability to abstract means that he can't nest or build those details into a story. Look at Harry Potter, for example, or Bilbo from The Hobbit. Their stories teach us the value of sacrifice, bravery and courage. And we imitate those characteristics because we find them appealing and worthy of emulation. But the only problem for Nathan is all of these actions and values are abstractions, and his autism is hiding them from him. That's what stops Nathan from functioning on his own within society. His inability to understand the stories or extrapolate any meaning from them means he can't figure out how he should act within the world. Put simply, Nathan can't imitate the hero within a story because Nathan can't see the hero. Nathan loves the Wiggles movie. It tells a simple adventure story of a magician named Wally who needs the Wiggles' help so that he might win a magic contest. Nathan's memorised every single detail of the movie by rote. The colours in every scene, the costumes, the props, the music and the lyrics. But what my beautiful son will never understand are the incredible stories, the adventures and the romance, the archetypes and the virtues. It always breaks my heart a little when I dwell on it because Nady's autism is blinding him from all the emotions we feel when we finish a great book or watch the perfect film. Nathan can never experience the excitement of barracking for a hero or feel his heart skip a beat when lovers finally embrace. Watch what happens when I ask Nady what the Wiggles movie is about. A movie written so that 5-year-olds can understand it.
Wally was trying to knock over the shelf and tip these books out.
He tipped the books out, did he? But what's the Wiggles movie story about?
Anthony's doing some very silly things.
Is he really? How many times have you seen the Wiggles movie?
2 times.
2 times. I think you've watched it about 1,000 times. Did you learn anything about watching the Wiggles movie?
Yes.
What did you learn?
Cooking the cake.
Cooking the cake? You learned how to cook a cake. Did they cook a cake in the Wiggles movie, did they?
For Dorothy's party.
Ah, for Dorothy's party. And what happened to Dorothy in the Wiggles movie?
Explain to Greg's. Wags was trying to fix Greg's wand.
Wags was trying to fix Greg's wand, was he? See? So you know all these little individual details, but you can't tell me what the whole Wiggles movie is actually about, can you?
Yeah.
No, can't. You love Daddy?
Yes.
Does Daddy love you?
And who else?
Mum loves you?
Yeah.
What's this one?
You'll be wiggling.
You'll be wiggling.
During my final interviews with Nathan, I decided to bribe him by using his reward pathway, which interestingly enough is working very neurotypically. This helped minimise his meltdowns.
No.
So I bought some children's DVDs off eBay, which I promised to give to him as long as he could sit still and be good while I asked him questions. It was during this session that many of the secrets regarding Nathan's documents folder began to reveal themselves.
How come you put all those ones in there like that?
Because they're from Facebook.
What year did you see them?
2020 in July.
And what are all those ones from?
They're from eBay in 2011.
And what about these ones?
They're from Gumtree.
Gumtree, what year?
2011.
What are they all from, buddy?
Op Shop.
They're from an op shop. Which op shop?
Lifeline.
They're from Lifeline, are they?
Yeah.
What year did you see those?
2012.
2012 you saw all them, you sure?
Yeah.
It seemed as though many of the folders inside Nathan's documents contained collections of DVDs and VHS cassettes that Nathan had seen while shopping at thrift shops or browsing places online like eBay, Gumtree and Facebook. Let me give you an example. Nathan loves to buy second-hand videos from various opportunity shops or thrift stores. While browsing, he takes a mental picture of all the videos they have on the shelf. When he comes home, he then recreates the pattern of videos that he's seen by constructing a new picture in Microsoft Paint, or creating a new folder and filling it with the individual videos.
Can you show Daddy some folders when you go into op shops? Do you go into op shops and see videos sometimes? Can you show me one where you went to an op shop in 2015?
Now, I can't verify if this is real, but Nathan is currently reverse searching through thousands of folders, trying to find a pattern of videos that he's seen in an opportunity shop over 7 years ago. Given the fact that Nathan can't lie, and the serious look on his face while searching, I can't help but suspect that he may have actually found the correct folder.
That one.
That one. What op shop was it from?
Helicopter op shop.
The helicopter op shop, was it?
Yeah.
And those videos are all inside a helicopter op shop.
Yeah.
Nathan spends at least 2 or 3 hours a day scouring the internet for children's videos. What I never realised is that while he was searching, he was mimicking the patterns he found and storing them into his documents folder. I began to wonder, is Nathan's documents folder an autistic logbook? The folders inside, no different than the pages of a ledger recording years of pattern recognition.
What is it about it that you like doing? Why do you like collecting all these videos?
I thought Julian Fox videos has these videos.
Who's Julian Fox?
That I saw it on YouTube.
Who is Julian Fox, I thought? I never picked up on it before, but after watching Nathan using YouTube, I found he was watching other people who loved collecting children's DVDs and VHS cassettes. What really shocked me was how many there were. All of them were boys, and I would hazard a guess that all of them are on the spectrum. I used to think that my son's obsession with children's videos was a little unusual, but when I saw how many other people out in the world had the same obsession, I began to realise that it's more common than I thought. It also begged the question, why? What is it about children's videos like The Wiggles and Thomas the Tank Engine that is grabbing the attention of autistic men like Nathan?
Were you a good boy when we done some filming?
Yes!
You were, and you hold the video up, you show everyone, what did you get? Holy moly, what's that?
2010.
What one is it?
Series 10.
Series 10, but who is it? It's
Thomas the Tank Engine.
Thomas the Tank Engine.
Op shops, thrift stores, YouTube and eBay. Nathan is scouring his local environment, searching for collections of The Wiggles and other children's videos, and he's storing the results inside his documents folder. Now, pardon the pun, but are you starting to see a pattern emerging? Nathan's autism prevents me from teaching him social constructs. Society or culture is an abstraction, and Nathan can't understand it. From the moment of your birth, your parents acculturate you, squeezing you into a mould of society by indoctrinating you with ideas. But the only problem is, I can't do that with Nathan. In many ways, Nathan is like a little boy that grows up on an island all on his own. This means that Nathan is controlled far more by nature than nurture. Humans are born with instincts and emotions blessed to us by millions of years of evolution. A stereotype has long persisted that autistic people don't feel or display emotions like neurotypical people. As Nathan's father, however, I firmly believe there are many parts of Nathan's brain that still function neurotypically, no different to you or me. Our deep need and desire to achieve goals, our reciprocity, our want to play fair, our morality. Nathan always tries to be good rather than bad, yet he has no concept of right or wrong. Happiness, fear, awe, love. Nathan feels and experiences all the emotions you and I can feel. The only problem is, his autism inhibits his ability to understand and communicate them. But I want to concentrate on two instincts that I now believe are responsible for the creation of Nathan's documents folder: pattern recognition and imitation. The world is a complex place, chaotic, dangerous. In order to survive, you have to figure out how it works, and fast. Over millions of years of evolution, humans learned how to find order amongst a seemingly unpredictable landscape. The passing of night and day, the seasons, the stellar constellations and the cycles of the moon and tides. We long for a balance between the known and the unknown. We crave regularity. One could well argue that the Enlightenment was born from our desire for predictability. Deep down, buried beneath the flesh, we are all pattern seekers. Imagine for a moment that you had all of Nathan's disabilities. You can't communicate very well. You can't abstract. You can't plan for the future using historical prediction, meaning you become lost in the dimension of time. To minimise the chaos of the world, or in other words, minimise your anxiety and fear, it seems only logical that you would latch onto things that never seem to change, things that are familiar. Calendars, clocks, routines, or even a set of Wiggles videos. These are all examples of patterns, and Nathan's using them like an anchor to keep him steady within an ever-changing world. We all unconsciously search out patterns to try and make sense of our environment. Your entire ideological worldview is the result of pattern searching. At their core, ideologies are just reoccurring patterns of ideas, beliefs, and values. Take political ideologies as an example. These are all patterns of behaviour, frameworks that we overlay on the world to try and organise society. Using an ideology allows you to predict how the world works, in turn lowering your anxiety. No different than the way Nathan's lists limit his anxiety. But the only problem for Nathan is you can't touch political ideologies. They aren't physically real. They're abstractions that live inside your imagination, which means Nathan can't see them. In some ways, not being able to think abstractly is an autistic person's greatest disability. But in other ways, it's also their greatest strength. Some ideologies can be dangerous, violent, murderous. They are no different to a virus that infects a host, but Nathan's autism is inoculating him from them, no different to a vaccine. Autism is misdirecting Nathan's perception. Instead of searching out useful patterns to help him live within society, his autism is focusing his pattern recognition into the concrete world, meaning he can only see material things like Wiggles DVDs and Thomas the Tank Engine. Nathan may not be able to see the big picture, so to speak, but he loves looking at the detail, or the Lego bricks. You see, it turns out that autistic pattern searchers may have been the pioneers who revealed the depths beneath us all. Without our knowledge of physics or the atom, we could never build a device like a mobile phone or an MRI machine. Without our knowledge of anatomy and cells, we could never perform open heart surgery. In his book, The Pattern Seekers: How Autism Drives Human Invention, Professor Simon Baron-Cohen, a clinical psychologist at the University of Cambridge, put forward a compelling hypothesis. He contends that a systematising mechanism evolved in the human brain between 70,000 and 100,000 years ago. This systematising mechanism was the genesis of autism, and the same genes that contribute to autism enable a special kind of pattern seeking that is essential to our species' inventiveness. In other words, without autism, we'd be no more advanced technologically than our ape-like ancestors. Cohen argues that while we need abstract thinkers, we also need concrete thinkers like my son. All too often, because of their inability to operate in an abstracted world, autistic people have long been shunned. But at the same time, by doing that, Cohen suggests that we are throwing away a valuable resource. Autistic people can act like a microscope. They can stare into the void of complexity and see patterns that many of us never can. There's been some debate over the years as to whether imitation is an instinct or a learned behaviour. Personally, I believe that imitation is hardwired into the brain, no different than autism, and Nathan is my evidence.
Please, will you become one of Vinny's volunteers?
Will I become one of Vinny's volunteers?
Just visit vinny's.com.au and pop into a Vinny's shop for more details. And while you're there, have a look around. You love what you find.
Will I? Is this where did you see this, Buster?
From the Wiggles. Please, will you become a Vinny's volunteer?
Just visit vinnies.org.au. Pop into your local Vinny shop for more details. Yeah, and while you're there, have a look around. You'll love what you find.
Nathan imitates me on a regular basis. Here, he's imitating some footage we shot the day before.
Are you copying Daddy?
Yes.
What?
If the world was made from Lego, Nathan would have no trouble whatsoever seeing all the individual pieces.
What the world's like being building with Lego. All of these different colours with blue and red and purple and yellow and orange.
Yep.
I have a brown, white and pink as well.
Yep.
Notice Nathan's obsession with primary colours. He often explains the world around him by talking about it in colour.
Purple and dark green, light blue and dark green and dark purple and dark brown.
From a scientific perspective, you could well argue that imitation is just a circuit in the brain that's evolved to help us learn faster. After years of watching Nathan, what fascinates me is what is it that is aiming our desire to imitate certain things and not others? We discriminate. We seem to consciously and unconsciously choose what to imitate. Do we mimic archetypes from a collective unconscious? Do we choose using rational thought? Or is it all just random, like throwing dice at a craps table? Think of it like this. If imitation was the engine in a car, then who is it that's actually steering the wheel? This is Nathan at 6 years of age. He was essentially non-verbal, yet Nathan is mimicking his schoolteacher singing songs in class. He has no idea what most of the words mean. The bears in front of the window represent the students singing along. Here Nathan's imitating a chef from the Hooly Doolies. He was still in nappies because you couldn't teach Nathan anything. He couldn't understand our language, hence the picture cards on the door behind him. The only way Nathan could learn anything was through imitation. And if it isn't an instinct, then I have no idea how he learned it.
And who are you?
Antoine.
Antoine there?
Chef.
What's Antoine from?
The Hooly Doolies.
The Hooly Dooly.
It's important to note here that when Nathan plays, he only ever imitates. He never acts out his own stories. I think this has something to do with his limited imagination. If you can't use your imagination, you can't abstract. And if you can't abstract, you can't build your own overarching narratives.
Excuse me, lifesaver. Hey, Dr. say hi. You have to swim between the flag at all times.
This is Nathan acting out a scene from the Wiggles movie, one of his favourites. He loves the Lifesaver character so much that he even asked for an Australian Lifesavers uniform for Christmas one year.
Don't believe it! Chef is always falling asleep.
This is another autistic boy by the name of James that Nathan watches constantly on YouTube. Similar to Nathan, he collects Wiggles VHS cassettes. Nathan is watching James act out the entire Wiggles movie from memory, a monumental feat on its own. This is what fascinates me most about imitation. In some ways, autism has freed Nathan and James from the bounds of social convention. They don't have to follow trends. They set their own. They're masters of their own destiny. Out of the millions of things in the world that Nathan and James could freely choose to imitate, why are they choosing to imitate the Wiggles?
Now, you could make a shallow assumption and say the reason why these grown men are imitating the Wiggles is because they're mentally handicapped. What would they know what they're doing, right? Well, being an engineer, I've never been a fan of assumption. There is obviously something about the Wiggles that they're drawn to. But what is it? What is it about these children's videos that is filling them with so much love and joy that they feel the need to imitate it? The original Red Wiggle, Murray Cook, believes their autistic audience are drawn in by the songs. Music represents structure and pattern repetition, something every Wiggles song has at its core. I think simplistic concrete colours have a lot to do with it as well. Nathan is fascinated by primary colours. From a physics perspective, colours are measurable wavelengths of light that have been divided up into simple abstract names. For Nathan, you can think of colour like an ideology, a filter or a framework to help make sense of a very complex world. A good example is colouring by numbers. Everything becomes easy to identify when you catalogue it by the wavelengths of light that it reflects. An infinitely complex world can now be systematically divided into a minimal pattern of colour. Music and colour are great examples of concrete patterns, but maybe there's a simpler explanation. What if the answer is love? Nathan and James may be autistic, but they can still feel love, no different to you or me. Autism simply rechannels their love into different places. From a scientific perspective, love may be just chemical reactions in the brain, but the catalyst of love? That is still a mystery to us all. I've asked Nathan many times why he loves the Wiggles, and generally, this is the answer I get. Nathan, why do you love the Wiggles so much?
Because I collect videos.
At first, I just assumed the reason Nathan kept answering this way was because he couldn't comprehend the question. But then I realised I can't tell you why I love the things I love either. So why did I expect my son to understand something none of us really can? From a technical standpoint, Nathan's ability to pattern search and imitate are working neurotypically, but Nathan's disability stops him from abstracting the world past the level of a 5-year-old. And that means he will fall in love with whatever a 5-year-old falls in love with. And that just happens to be the Wiggles. And why not? I mean, what a great thing for Nathan to fall in love with forever. For an hour each day, the Wiggles make him laugh. And they make his life just that little bit less chaotic. A show about 4 men who teach him how to help others, how to be kind, how to be a better human being. Out of all the things in the world that Nathan could have fallen in love with, maybe it isn't such a mystery at all as to why he'd fall in love with the Wiggles.
Who sings the song Speaking with the Angels?
Ron Sexsmith.
Ron Sexsmith. Do you like that song?
Yeah, I do.
You do, don't you? I think it's all about you. He don't know how to lie or undermine you. He don't know how to steal, how to deal or deceive, so leave him alone. Set him free, 'cause he's speaking with the angels. Speaking with the angels that only you can see.
So, what is Nathan's documents? For most people, it's a chaotic jumbled mess of pictures and colour. But for Nathan, it represents structure, order, calm, peace. Nathan's documents folder is the portfolio of an artist. His mouse and keyboard are the brush. The data on the internet, his paint. And a wafer-thin substrate of silicon, his canvas. Nathan's documents folder is a story. The narrative of Nathan's life. Sprinkled amongst the patterns of Wiggles videos and Bob the Builder are thousands of diary entries. Picturized stories about days Nathan went on excursions at school with his friends, or a trip to see Elton John. Nathan's documents are the roots of a tree, an anchor that keeps him stable within the dimension of time. Like an evolutionary adaptation, Nathan uses the structure of the computer's memory to help him overcome his disability. A disability he isn't even aware of. The main reason I started investigating Nathan's documents was because I suspected he may have been trying to communicate through his autism. I worked out many aspects as to why Nathan was doing what he was doing, but the folder still contains some mystery. There are many mathematical patterns buried within the folders that are by no means random, but Nathan could never tell me what they meant because he didn't understand what I was asking him. I'll be caring for Nathan till the day I die, so I've got a bit of time to try and figure it out. But in answer to the question, was Nathan trying to talk to me through the patterns and pictures? Well, maybe not in the very limited way you and I think about communication. It seemed that even after living with Nathan for 23 years, I still hadn't learned the language of autism. Carl Sagan was right. He said that in order to communicate with the ants, you must first become an ant. For years, I tried my hardest to turn an ant into a human being, but I got it the wrong way around. It was me that had to change. While navigating the course of my life, Nathan's forced me to take a road less travelled. I went on a journey to find a secret code buried within 1,000 pictures of the Wiggles. But instead of finding a code, I found my son. And to quote an old American poet, that has made all the difference.
My name is Nathan, and I live by a harbour. I'll never hide my heart from you, 'cause I only say what is true. I'm somewhat different, but also the same. I will never judge what I see through my eyes, all perfect like me. And as I travel along with the stars on my beautiful world, I want to be loved. Yes, I want to feel love, and I need to give love, just like you, just like you.